In many cultures of old, the archway was the threshold between the mundane and the sacred worlds. Here, however, we see it as a much more sinister, as we say, application here. The archway here is from the mundane to the truly unholy. Well, hello there. I'm here, it's John, of course. I'm here at the Forest of Screams in Medina. It is actually the weekend after Halloween, and I kind of saved this for last. Been here a couple of years. It's about, I think, the third year for it, and this each of the years I've went on that post-Halloween weekend, sometimes before as well, and it's been fun. So there are 3 parts. You can kind of see. You can kind of see a little bit from here. That right there is the sort of barn thing. I don't know, you can't really see it kind of behind me there. That's the quote-unquote hayride. There's no actual hay in the thing. You do sit on benches, which is actually kind of nice. I don't really mind that as much. And tractor ride doesn't really quite sound the same. And then, I don't know how well you can see that off back there. I'll show it as I come up to it. But that spits you right out into a sort of haunted forest walk, which is probably my favorite part of it. And then that spits you off into a haunted house. So there's 3 parts, and it just goes bump, 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 one right into the other. Sorry. And yeah, I'm not sure exactly how they're entertaining you there in the little waiting area at the moment. Sometimes they've had like movies or little music video things or something like that. Looks like they have an escape thing out here now too. They got some concession-y stuff. Usually there's a bonfire type thing. Oh, yeah. Little bonfire thing. Gotta love the bonfire. That's actually a neat little thing. It's been like this weird sprinkly rain thing going on, so I got my little umbrella. So I can get my sort of, you can't see it at all, my sort of pseudo 12th Doctor with a bit of 4th Doctor flair thing going on. My little beanie cap to keep my bald head warm. So I've been looking forward to this, kind of saved it. Was kind of hoping that the person I talked about in the 7 floors thing thought he was going to be working here tonight. Turns out not. But I might stop by at the other place, 7 floors, just to make sure I can at least, kind of say hey and get my pictures and see how he's doing and stuff like that. But that'll be later. Right now we're going to focus here on Forest Screams. And yeah, that's the intro for that. And I'll see you soon.
Gotta go, people. That's not my problem.
No, if you can see it too much. This is kind of the scenery I like. Got that chapel with the red belfry. Cool cemetery. Grunting zombie. Gotta love the grunting zombies. Can never get into some of the voodoo stuff. There we go. I actually messed up some of the filming of this. Oh wow, you really can't see me at all, can you? Oh boy. Well, just got done with the hayride portion of it. Apparently, my enjoyment of the voodoo part and the cemetery part is fairly rare compared to everybody else. There was, you can see the opening of the Night Stalkers trail here. It's the forest part. Really looking forward to that. Most of it was rednecks and pigman monsters, mutants. A lot of chainsaws, a lot of screaming at you and hillbilly. There are some really big sort of animatronic monster things, which were cool. And there is, I don't know how much of this is going to come out. I tried filming a couple little bits. There's this one sort of churchyard thing. It's got like a cemetery and a lot of smoke. And it's kind of like this little chapel thing. It's actually pretty neat. I like that part a lot. And the voodoo part at the end. I like those. Some of the sets are actually built pretty neat. Some of them remind me of if you take the train in Cedar Point all the way around. It's kind of got those sets and the animatronic skeletons and stuff like that. Some of it reminded me of that, and that was kind of neat. And there's one part, there's like this bridge. It's supposed to have these big monster spiders and like desiccated corpses everywhere. And the thing I like about that is that it's the engineering of it. The engineering of it is neat because like the roof is the top parts are on like an angle, and the walls aren't flat. They're kind of jutting in like different ways, and there's this big crazy animatronic spider thing in one end. But I I like the engineering of it. I don't know if I could personally do that, given how sort of spurgy and twitchy I am about. It's like, no, it's not lined up right. But you know, that was kind of neat. So there were parts of it I liked. I generally like the idea of the ride. It was just almost totally infested with the sort of hillbilly stuff. I was actually thinking on this. I don't know if you've ever seen the movie. I haven't seen the show, but the movie Hana. It's got Saoirse Ronan, the absolutely fabulous Cate Blanchett, and then Eric Bana in it. And it's that sort of super soldier assassin girl, and you know, like 12 or something like that. But in the movie, there's this whole abandoned park that's like this old fairy tale sort of thing. There's a big bad wolf mouth, and Cate Blanchett comes out. It was a really cool part of the movie. I like the movie anyway. Cool part of the movie. Cool scene. Cate Blanchett's sort of technically supposed to be the villain, coming out of this mouth thing. That was neat. I figured with this and the forest change, wonder if it'd be feasible, given what they already have built or something like that. If eventually they want to change stuff up or anything like that, maybe do some sort of like messed up Grimm's fairy tale. I don't know, the Grimm's fairy tales themselves are kind of messed up, but some sort of like fairy tale forest sort of thing, and have that just be really creepy and haunted, like fairy tale forest, and have that. And it'd be cool to have just like, some sort of like, woman in white just slowly following you, and maybe a couple, oh no, help me sort of things stuck in some place or ever. But yeah, like a haunted fairy tale kind of thing I think would be kind of neat. Anyway, so I'm about to do the Night Stalkers trail. Just like 4 different accents there. And usually my favorite part, I dig the outside set, the gargoyle. No, technically a grotesque, because it doesn't have the water spout, so technically not a gargoyle. But I dig the, crenellations, castle facade, all things I'm going to dig. I generally like this. If I can, I'm going to get a couple shots from that. I hope they do like the cool... One part was like this house sort of built, and like this guy came out, did like this perfect Michael Myers thing last year. It was awesome. So we'll see how that goes. Vaping gargoyle. Oh, you can't see it now, but he just extended his wings and he was vaping. But he was vaping. That was kind of cool. Okay. Whoa. Oh. So once again, he can't see me worth a damn. Try this. I gotta have a face here somewhere. I kind of got a face there. So the Night Stalkers trail, again, the best part, for me at least. They start off, like this sort of vampire house thing, and then, which have been, there's a couple things, including the vampire in this one, which it would have been better if they just didn't kind of scream or growl in your ear, but the It's like, again, like what I said before, the characters were cool, just a little tweaking on that. But they had, yeah, so you go through this crypt thing first, and I love the set for that. And then there's like these couple pagan-y bits with like some wooden slats through the walkway, and then there's one that has almost sort of like a Blair Witch kind of arch, and like these like, there's one section like these jack-o'-lantern, like pumpkin head monster things. That's fucking cool. That whole, then the way they better build that, it's like, yeah, you kind of go through this crypt and then these pagan-y bits. I took some little shots. Hopefully they come out and you can see them or do something with them. There are a couple people who did cool things, just kind of following you instead of doing, you know, other kind of weird stuff. But they set it up really nice because it kind of takes you through a few things. It's really kind of dramatic. You go through some graveyard stuff. And like a mausoleum thing, which is neat. And a couple of people, a couple of the actors, I mean, they're not even, there's people who don't even say anything at all. They just sort of are there and kind of lurch or lurk out in it. And that's cool. They did a good job with that. And then it builds up. You kind of have like this quiet thing. And there's like a small house. And they do like a Halloween thing, and a Halloween theme. And then this Michael Myers come out like last year. He did an awesome job just bam, just shooting out there and being there. And then right after that, it's like this like crazy, you're escaping a zombie infection sort of thing. So it almost sort of like builds up to this like loud, more dramatic, intense experience through the sort of cool, foresty, pagan-y type stuff, and then into the big sort of like, big, shocky, scary thing with a lot more animatronics and stuff. They got a lot of cool structures, a lot of cool animatronics. And I always felt like the drama of the Night Stalkers Trail was actually really well done as well. So I'll probably talk about that a little bit more here in a moment. About to go through the mortuary. What is it called here? Oh, just mortuary haunted house. So I'm looking forward to this bit too. It's also exciting, and I'll see you later. Okay, here we go. I'm having trouble with this bloody thing all night. So okay, just did the mortuary part. According to people, apparently I sound British. I had people like, where are you from? I'm like, Cleveland? But hey, I'll take it. I like it. It's good to me. So the mortuary bit, I like that bit too. Again, some couple decent characterizations kind of ruined by just the screaming. Variations on the go away or come back here, which both could, the go away I don't really understand as much, just in terms of general characterizations, but the you know, the come back here, stay here sort of thing, or sort of medical torture-y stuff, that I understand. There was a couple of times where the screaming was warranted, you know, especially with, you know, the pseudo-medical torture, because, I mean, it's set up, you know, like a funeral home, and then, you know, the medical bits there at the end, and then the actual kind of house part. And they have, you know, someone who's, you know, like this nun bringing you in, and she does a cute job with the character on that. So it's not really screamy, it's just kind of creepy. It's a little different. So that's cool. But I think it feels like they were changing stuff. Like they did stuff to enhance the mortuary part from last year. It feels a little more claustrophobic, a little bit more mazy, which was cool. And yeah, it was fun. Again, just kind of hoping some people, again, it's like the characters are kind of neat. Just the application of the characters, a little bit of tweaking, I think, kind of set it apart. But yeah, the Night Stalkers Trail and the Mortuary House are both really cool. I enjoy them. And fun. And I guess apparently I sound British, so cool. People again surprised and by myself. Used to be, it was getting to the point where people weren't surprised I was by myself. Now they are again. But but yeah, it's fun. So Forest of Screams, kind of last hurrah of the season for me. Kind of purposely waited for that. Was hoping a couple things would kind of work out with some other people. It kind of fell through. But that's what happens. So yeah, the hayride is fun, and I think as time goes on, when eventually they start kind of tweaking stuff or changing things a little bit, and I think it can be enhanced even more. The Night Stalkers trail is great. That's my favorite part. It's been my favorite part for now the 3 years this thing has been up. I love all the pagan-y bits. I love all the, you know, the kind of set pieces they do have, the sort of monster things they have animatronically set up, kind of jumping out at you are neat. The, you know, the drama of it. I love the little graveyard part. I love the little Myers house thing, especially when the guy nails like the Michael Myers part. That all stuff is cool. The zombie bit at the end, I mean, it makes sense the way they do it. Actually, you know, it's kind of neat. Because it's actually like walking you through like this attacked quarantine area. I'm sorry if I'm shaking a little bit. It's fairly cold out. My arm's sore. I worked out today, so arm's a little sore. And there it is, ladies and gentlemen, the one Midnight Syndicate song anyone plays all year round. Or all season round, I guess. I don't know how many albums they have out. I know they've been around for at least 20-something years, because I remember selling their albums when I worked at Walden's, and that was in 1998. And this is apparently the only song or two that they can play in any of these things at home. I was not talking like that when the lady thought I was British. I just, maybe I enunciated and was polite. I don't know. She could have said Canadian for all I know. But, so yeah, so Forest of Screams in Medina. Pretty cool place, probably 4 skulls out of the 5. Really neat. You know, it's kind of neat. They change it up. They do a little bit of everything with the you know, hayride. You can't see it with my black gloves, but I air quoted. Which to the actual British people makes no sense that it's inverted commas, because an inverted comma would basically be a tiny little C at the end of the word, not hangy bits on the tops of the words, indicating quotations. They're quotation marks. Sorry, I know you invented a language, but so say it right. I don't mind you calling it a lift or a flat or any of these other things, but inverted comma for quotations makes no grammatical sense. I digress. On that digression, I completely lost what I was saying. Oh yeah, so since they have the hayride and the forest walk and an actual kind of house that you go into, you know, they're really trying to, you know, kind of give you a little bit of everything with that. I do think that some of the characterizations are just sort of due to where we are and the sort of expectations of the contemporary audience, shall we say. That's critic, there we go, critic language, isn't it? Maybe zeitgeist, throw that in there too. Some fancy words there for a review. I don't know what accent that was. It started being Ian McKellen, went to Eddie Izzard, and I'm done. All right. But yeah, especially if you get here, if you do come here, again, it's the last night. It's, you know, the Saturday after Halloween, so it's done after this. But if you come next year, and you should, you know, at the very least, the Night Stalker Trail alone is worth the price of admission and the speed pass, or if you're going to do that or any of that. Again, they do have concessions, a little bit of stuff to buy, a fry hut, a bonfire, which is always fun, and there's some nice little water going on, so they're hitting a lot of elements here, which I like, balancing the elements and sort of alchemical as well. It was pretty glad it stopped raining for the most part. It started to come down a little bit when we were on the hayride, but I didn't need my umbrella as much as I thought. Always a bonus. That is one of the sort of dangers of coming this late in the season, is that the weather, especially in northern Ohio, tends to get not super great in a lot of ways. It's sort of like that middling thing where it's kind of wet and cold and damp, and it kind of gets into your bones, but it's like not cold enough to really layer up. But if you do layer up, it might not be a bad idea, but it's sort of like this weird sort of thing. I've had a nice, soft, you know, kind of good, clean snow. That would be kind of cozy, but also not really indicative to a haunted house, more just sort of hiking. I am just not having any sort of luck staying on any sort of actual rational track here, am I? So yeah, this is pretty much it for the year. Pretty good year haunted house wise. Went to some places that I had not been to before, and saw some places that definitely kind of up their game up. I think this place, Forest of Screams, I think has done that as well. Especially, I just really feel that the haunted mortuary, the haunted house stuff kind of got revamped and changed up a little bit. Again, they stepping the game up part. I feel it really kind of showed there. I could be wrong. I could just have missed stuff, or been distracted, or I'm just noticing different things now than before, especially since I'm doing these videos or something like that. But so a lot of places kind of upping their game up. Some new places I haven't been to before. Some kind of weird experiences and cool stuff. Yeah, I got so derailed on those like 2 trains of thought. I have no idea what I'm talking about now. But it is cold. But yeah, Forest of Screams, fun. About 4 out of 5. The skulls, and definitely worth the trip. Definitely worth the effort for it. I really think they try to do something here to build an atmosphere and to kind of set everything up in a really cool way. It's like this whole thing was built just for this. It's not like a found thing that they fit in like at Haunted Schoolhouse. It's not stuff that they just build fresh every year, like 7 floors. I mean, this whole place was set up for this purpose. And even if I'm not super big on the sort of hillbilly stuff, the sets they're building and what they're trying to do, even on the hayride part, is actually really cool. They're putting a lot of effort, a lot of focus into making it an atmosphere and a cool experience for everybody, and trying to get a lot in, especially when you start getting into like now the forest, the Night Stalkers Trail, the Forest Walk, getting a lot of different stuff in. So yeah, that's all I got for right now. If I can think of anything else, I'll tag it on at the end of this. Hopefully some of the footage I tried to shoot during some of the stuff will come out. My camera, as you can tell, is not horribly amazing. But hopefully at least 1 or 2 things kind of came out, maybe. Hopefully. Tack that in here. And away, as they say, we go. So this is John Cosma. Like, share, subscribe, all that good YouTube-y stuff. And thank you for watching. Thank you for watching this. Thank you for watching all of them if you've watched them. And scream you next year.